Hi guys! We are reading a book called Rumpelstiltskin today. I'll just show you the picture and some of the words. Once there was a poor miller who was in the habit of boasting to anyone who would listen of his daughter's great beauty and talents. One day on his way to deliver flour to the castle, the miller happened to meet the king. The miller immediately started bragging about his daughter. He told the king she was the most beautiful and talented maiden in all the land. The king just yawned. The boastful miller was determined to have the king notice his daughter, so he bragged on. "Your Majesty, my daughter can also spin straw into pure gold." "Straw into gold," said the king. "Now that is a talent." The king was very greedy, so he ordered the miller to bring his daughter to the castle. "If it is true what you say about your daughter," the king told the miller, "she'll be very useful to me." The king rode off towards the castle. Do you think she can really spin straw into gold? Probably not. The miller brought his daughter to the castle, and the king took the girl to a room filled with straw. He told his servants to bring in a big spinning wheel. "Now get to work," said the king. "If you do not spin this straw into gold by morning, you will die." The poor girl knew how to spin flax and wool, but she could not spin straw into gold. She was so frightened that she began to cry. Suddenly the locked door flew open, and there stood a strange little man. "Good evening, pretty maid," he said. "Why are you crying so?" The girl told the strange man that her father boasted to the king that she could spin straw into gold, but since she really could not, she must die. The little man picked up a bit of straw. "What would you give me if I spin this straw for you?" he asked the maiden. "I will give you my necklace," she replied. The odd little man took the necklace and sat down at the wheel. He picked up some straw and began to spin. By morning the spools held spun gold, and the man was gone. When the greedy king entered the room in the morning, he was greatly pleased to see the gold. That evening the king took the maiden to a bigger room filled with even more straw. Once again he commanded her to spin all the straw into gold if she valued her life. Locked in the room, the girl sat down and wept. Again the strange little man appeared. "What will you give me if I spin this straw into gold?" the strange little man asked. "I will give you my ring," the poor girl replied. So the little man took the ring, started the spinning wheel, whirring, and by morning he had spun all the straw into bright gold. The king was still not satisfied. He sent the girl to a larger room filled to the ceiling with straw. Then he promised to marry her if she could spin that straw into gold. That night the strange little man came for the third time and asked what the girl would give him if he helped her. "I have nothing else to give you," she said. "Then give me your firstborn child when you become queen," the little man replied. Oh my goodness. As she did not know what the future held, the maiden agreed. By morning the room was filled with gold. The king married the miller's daughter, and she became queen. By the time she gave birth to a beautiful child 1 year later, the queen had forgotten all about the strange little man. But one day he appeared while the baby was sleeping. "Now, give me what you promised the last time we met," he demanded. The young queen was horrified. She loved her baby and could not give it up. "I'll give you anything else you want," she cried, "but do not take my child." The little man felt some pity for the queen, so he told her, "I will give you 3 days' time to guess my name. If you can guess it, you can keep your child." No. The queen sat up all night making a long list of names. When the little man came to her the next day, she asked, "Is it Casper, Melchior, or Balthazar?" But for each one the man said, "Nope, that is not my name." "Alex, Abraham, Aloysius, Boris, Bruce, Brian, Casey, Chris, Carlos?" "No, no, no, and no again," he answered with every name the queen read. As the strange little man left that day, he called out, "Only 2 more days!" The queen was terribly worried and quickly sent messengers to search the country and find other names for her list. When the messengers returned from their search, the queen wrote a new list of names. The second day she tried each one on the list. "Could you be Ribcage, Mutton Chop, or Lace Legs? Are you Hercules or Xerxes?" she asked. "Of course not," said the little man. When the odd little man left, the desperate queen sent her messengers again. She ordered the messengers to search high and low for the little man's name. As the last of the messengers was searching the forest, he came upon a little man dancing around a forest and singing, "Today I brew, and then I bake, and then the queen's own child I'll take, for little knows my royal dame then, Rumpelstiltskin is my name." The messenger quickly ran to the palace to report what he saw to the queen. The queen cried out with joy and gave the messenger a large reward. The queen prepared a final list of names for the little man, saving his own for last. When the smug little man returned later that day, the queen was ready. "Is your name Kurt or Bert? Tom, Dick, or Harry?" asked the queen. "No! Now give me the baby!" shouted the little man. "Wait a minute, I have just one final guess," said the queen. "Is your name, by any chance, Rumpelstiltskin?" The little man was completely amazed. He screamed, "How did you know it? There's no way you could have guessed it!" The strange little man was so furious that he stamped his foot right through the floor and disappeared forever. The end.